Detroit certainly is, at this point, is taking no one by surprise. I mean, we've been watching the declining economy and financial situation in Detroit for a very long time. So there's not a lot of exposure, I would think, in most municipal bond funds out there in Detroit. But in the end, it's here the state is taking over a very troubled credit. So that's really a positive, really, if you look at it for the municipal bond market. You've seen one of the reasons that low default rates have continued in the municipal bond market is there's a lot of different ways to work out of troubled situations. A big AA state taking over their largest city is a great example of that, different ways that they're going to give them extra time to work out of their financial situation. The muni market started out the year up quite a bit in January. It's kind of leveled out here in February, but sometimes there's a little lull in here February and March when people are paying their taxes. But I think when they pay their taxes this year and see that new higher marginal tax rate, it's going to make that tax exemption on those municipal bonds look that much more attractive going forward. So I think you're going to see some benefit of that the marginal tax rate. Remember, going into this year, there was some fear about losing their tax exemption altogether. Now they're going to pay their taxes and look at it and say, wow, the extra benefit of that tax exemption is getting bigger and bigger. Munis are still lagging the rest of the fixed income world. They were dislocated several years ago. We've had a couple of great years of performance in the municipal bond market, but we're still far lagging the rally of most of the other bond sectors. I think the high yield bond sector, was reading just the other day, has reached sort of its low yield point where the average BB taxable credit is yielding about 4.5%, where you're actually getting a higher rate, not even counting the tax exemption for municipal bonds. And the average credit quality of a bond in municipal bond world is significantly better than a similarly rated corporate bond. And I think a lot of people haven't incorporated that into their analysis. We don't predict interest rates. We don't think people have been able to consistently do that and add value as a bond fund manager. We have long-term bond funds that stay long and bond funds that stay short. I think a lot of longer-term bond funds are actually now intermediate bond funds or short bond funds masquerading as long bond funds, but that's killed people the last couple of years. You've given up a huge amount of total return over the last several years if your long-term bond fund manager has made a big interest rate bet and moved down the curve over the last several years. The number one performing sector the last couple of years has been the long end of the curve, especially in munis. I think there's still a significant amount of value there. So we're not just going to go whole hog down the curve and try to protect people. I think it's more education, letting people know, hey, we're staying long, because not everyone has the view that rates are going up any day now. So, and I still think there's some value there.